Imagine this. It's 2 a.m. in the pine-scented backwoods of Pineville, Louisiana. You're alone, flashlight trembling in your hand, because your friends bailed, said the stories were too real. The air hangs heavy like wet grave dirt, and every rustle in the underbrush could be a gator or something worse. You push through the chain-link fence, heart slamming against your ribs, drawn by the hulking silhouette of Central Louisiana State Hospital. Built in 1906 as a sanctuary for the broken minds of 42 parishes, it swallowed over 3,000 patients a day at its peak, souls deemed too fractured for the world outside. But sanctuary? That's a lie etched in blood. This place was a factory of forgotten horrors. Restraint chairs that bit into flesh for hours on end, electroshock therapies that left brains scrambled like eggs in a skillet, and an on-site cemetery holding nearly 3,000 unmarked graves. Patients who checked in but never checked out. And at the heart of it all, Rose Cottage, the morgue disguised as a quaint therapy room, where the screams from those voltage sessions echoed into eternity. Let's make it personal. Meet Sarah, a 28-year-old nurse from Alexandria who worked the night shift here in the early 2010s, back when parts of the sprawling campus still buzzed with the living. Sarah wasn't a believer in ghosts. She chalked up the oddities to exhaustion and the endless parade of suffering. But one stormy autumn night in 2012, as thunder rattled the barred windows, she was restocking linens in the old women's ward. A wing shuddered since the 80s, but never fully cleared out. The air turned frigid, dropping 20 degrees in seconds, her breath fogging like she'd stepped into a meat locker. Then, the whispers started. Not wind through cracks, but voices fragmented pleading. "It burns. Make it stop, Mama." Sarah froze, scalpel slipping from her fingers, clattering like a gunshot in the silence. She spun around, beam of her mag light slicing the gloom. Nothing. Just peeling wallpaper curling like charred skin and gurneys tipped over like toppled confessions. But as she backed toward the door, a crash erupted from Rose Cottage across the hall. Glass shattering, metal screeching as if a body had just hit the tile. Sarah bolted, but not before glimpsing it. A green glow pulsing from the cottage's window, sickly and unnatural, like bioluminescent eyes watching from the dark. She slammed the ward door, but it wouldn't latch. Doors along the corridor began slamming in sequence, one after another, as if an invisible parade of inmates was marching to lock her in. Gasping, she radioed security, code black in the old wing, something's moving. The response? Static, then a chuckle from dispatch. Rose Cottage again? Tell the patients to pipe down. Sarah quit 2 weeks later, but the nightmares clung like humidity. She wasn't alone. Urban explorer Jax, real name withheld for his safety, snuck in during a full moon in 2018, GoPro rolling for his underground blog. Jax and his buddy Mike hit the grounds first. Overgrown paths crunching underfoot, headstones tilting like drunken accusations in the cemetery. "This place reeks of regret," Jax muttered to the camera, panning over a fresh crack in the earth. No rain, no cause, just soil splitting like a scream. They breached the admin building, file cabinets yawning open with yellowed charts spilling out. Names like Patient 214. Unresponsive post-ECT, transferred to subbasement. Subbasement? The kind where construction crews in the 90s unearthed chains bolted to walls, rusted manacles that once held the violent in pitch black, left to rot until their minds, or bodies, gave out. Deeper in, the cafe annex, a forgotten nook off Rose Cottage. Jax's light caught it first. A cat, eviscerated in gray with decay, padlocked to a prep table, its eyes milky voids staring right at the lens. No blood trail, no paw prints in the dust. "What the foo?" Mike started, but a thunderous crash cut him off. Pots and pans avalanching from shelves they'd checked empty minutes before. Shadows danced in the periphery, tall, stooped figures peeking from tattered curtains, faces blurred but eyes. Oh God, the eyes hollow and hungry. Jax's footage glitches there, audio spikes with EVP. "Join us, chained forever." They ran, flashlights dying one by one. the green glow chasing them like a will-o'-the-wisp through the fog. Mike twisted his ankle on a loose tile that cracked fresh under his boot, as if the floor itself was rebelling. To this day, Jack swears the padlocked cat appears in his dreams, mewling for release, and that the whispers followed him home, naming his childhood fears. Central's ghosts aren't content in death. They're architects of terror, rebuilding the asylum brick by spectral brick. Staff reports tile floors shattering spontaneously, cold spots that blister skin, and that relentless green light, a beacon for the lost, or a lure for the curious. In a state where mental health was once a death sentence disguised as care, these 3,000 souls demand you remember. Healing here meant erasure, and erasure breeds unrest. If you hear footsteps in the pines tonight, don't look back. They might be coming for company. What if the walls didn't just hold screams? What if they replayed them, night after night, like a cursed phonograph? Tucked on a haunted hilltop in Jackson, Louisiana, East Louisiana State Hospital opened its gates in 1847 as the state's first beacon for the behaviorally afflicted. But beacons flicker out. This sprawling fortress, with its separate wing for the criminally insane, women branded hysterical or worse for crimes of poverty and pain, became a labyrinth of abuses that make your stomach turn. Lobotomies in basement observation rooms, experimental drugs that twisted bodies into pretzels, patients vanishing into the ether, chalked up as escaped. The criminally insane ward? A hell of iron bars and drag marks scarring the floors, where therapy meant isolation until madness metastasized. And the doctor who hanged himself in the 70s? His news still swings in whispers, or so the night staff say. Enter Mia, the TikTok daredevil whose 2022 viral clip, 2 million views and counting, turned her from thrill seeker to haunted insomniac. At 24, Mia was all about abandoned aesthetics, her phone a shield against the void. She slipped into the shuttered women's wing one muggy July midnight, vines clawing at her jeans like desperate fingers. The air inside hit like a slap, stale, metallic, laced with the ghost of formaldehyde and fear. Filing cabinets gaped like screaming mouths, spilling charts from the 50s, patient E67, hysteria unresponsive, ice bath administered, 3 sessions. Upstairs rooms beckoned, frozen in decay, rusted stoves squatting in corners, a faded plastic angel ornament perched on a windowsill, its serene smile mocking the madness below. You can explore up here, Mia narrated shakily, her light dancing over drag marks, long, frantic lines ending at blank walls. But the basement feels like it breathes. That's when the footsteps began, soft at first, bare soles padding on warped wood, then multiplying, a shambling horde echoing from the stairs. Mia's breath hitched. Her camera caught it. Thermal blips, heat where no body should be. Whispers coiled up like smoke. Let me out, they lied. Hang with us. The air thickened, pressing on her chest, and a door, solid oak, untouched, creaked open behind her, yawning into blackness. She fled upstairs, but the shuffle followed, closer, wetter, like feet sloshing through unseen blood. Her phone glitched mid-run. Static erupted into faces, twisted, eyeless, mouthing her name. Mia burst out a side exit, collapsing in the weeds, but the footage? It showed a shadow detaching from the wall, elongated limbs reaching, the hanged doctor's silhouette, noose dangling like a promise. Mia's video exploded, but so did her life. Sleepless nights turned to therapy sessions. She hears the shuffle in crowded malls, feels icy fingers on her neck in hot showers. And she's not the first. In 2019, a maintenance crew renovating the criminally insane wing unearthed a hidden alcove, bones small and brittle. A child's? Wrapped in straitjacket remnants, dated to the 20s. That night, their tools vanished one by one. Wrenches flying across rooms, hammers pounding phantom nails into doors. One worker, Tomas, swore he saw her, a woman in a bloodied gown, pacing cell 13, her neck elongated from the noose, eyes pleading for the release she never got in life. The crew seal the alcove, but the echoes persist, footsteps that sync with your pulse, whispers naming sins you buried deep. East Louisiana isn't haunted, it's possessed, a place where the line between criminal and casualty blurred, leaving spirits to patrol the halls, dragging the living into their replayed nightmares. Step wrong in Jackson, and those bare feet might find yours. In the end, Louisiana's asylums aren't relics. They're warnings carved in ectoplasm. From Central's chained basements to East's shuffling cells, Charity's watery graves, these places swallowed lives whole, spitting out echoes that claw at the veil. Thousands died, not of madness, but of a system that caged compassion, turning healers into horrors. The ghosts? They're the unfinished, demanding witness, dragging the curious into their fold. So next time the bayou whispers your name, remember Sarah's doors, Mia's shuffle, Derek's grip. Some floods never recede. Thanks for braving the shadows with me on Echoes of the Damned. If these tales chilled your bones, like, subscribe, and comment. Which asylum would you dare? Share your encounters. Who knows, your story might haunt the next vid. Stay vigilant, Louisiana. The dead are listening.
Like and subscribe.